Welcome back. Grilled on Capitol Hill this week, a Republican-led House committee calling for explanations from former Twitter heads who played a role in the suppression of the New York Post's Biden laptop story. But Democrats did not see the point.
Silly does not even begin to capture this obsession. The professional conspiracy theorists who are heckling and haranguing this private company have already gotten exactly what they want, an apology. What more do they want? And why does the U.S. Congress have to be involved in this nonsense when we have serious work to do for the American people?
A whole hearing about a 24-hour hiccup in a right-wing political operation. That is why we are here right now. And it's just an abuse of public resources, an abuse of public time. We're talking about Hunter Biden's half-fake laptop story. I mean, this is an embarrassment.
President Biden says that the public does not care about the New York Post and its stories. The columnist from the New York Post, Miranda Devine, has been all over this Biden laptop story from the beginning. Her latest column, The Democrat Litany of Hunter Biden Laptop Lies. Miranda Devine joins me now. Miranda, thanks very much for being here this weekend. What did you think of that hearing?
Look, it was rather frustrating, I think, Maria. We came tantalisingly close to a few choice answers from James Baker, who was Twitter's #2 lawyer and, of course, the #1 lawyer at the FBI when Russiagate was going on. But he never really was pressed hard enough. He was particularly uncomfortable, I thought, when he was asked who hired him at Twitter 5 months before the 2020 election. And he evaded questions by citing attorney-client privilege and pretending he couldn't hear or he didn't understand this question or he couldn't recall. So he was a very slippery customer, and I think James Comer may get him behind the scenes in a filmed deposition, January 6 committee style.
Well, let's talk about the facts. I mean, look, I'm really unnerved by the fact that these committee heads and these committee lawmakers can go out there and lie about things. Why aren't they under oath? The witnesses are under oath. Can you talk to us a bit about the facts as we know it so that you could perhaps educate Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
You're absolutely right. That really should happen. They all should be under oath and accountable for their lies. Take Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She just called the New York Post a right-wing hit operation. It's a newspaper. It's the 4th largest by circulation. It leans conservative, moderately conservative. She said it was a 24-hour hiccup. No, the New York Post's Twitter account was locked for more than 2 weeks until just a couple of days before the 2020 election. That seriously hampered our ability to get our stories out there and cost us money. And, you know, Daniel Goldman and Jamie Raskin, they just wanted to turn that hearing into another January 6 committee hearing. They lied non-stop. They kept on bringing up Donald Trump and insurrection, which is completely irrelevant to something that should concern all Democrats and Republicans and independents in this country, which is that you had the FBI coercing the social media companies to censor American speech. Right. And in, you know, sheer violation of First Amendment rights.
Yeah, and what about all of the evidence on the Biden laptop, the tens of millions of dollars that the Biden family has taken in? Yeah. I mean, and now you wonder, we have to question why Joe Biden was so soft on China after we saw a spy flight enter the country into breaking our sovereignty and our airspace and was able to spy and take information about our nuclear installations back to the Chinese Communist Party. That's on top of the CCP's cover-up of COVID-19, 1 million Americans dead. I mean, can China do no wrong in Joe Biden's eyes after all that money he's taken in?
Exactly, and that's the problem that the Biden administration has. It's very difficult to tease out what is just incompetence or weakness from this administration and what may be the fact that Joe Biden could be compromised because of what we see on the laptop and elsewhere, that his family used his name when he was vice president for 8 years to extract money from America's adversaries overseas, particularly from China. And so it's impossible to look at our foreign policy without looking through that lens, which is why these hearings are so crucial and why you saw yesterday the Democrats really engage in a blitzkrieg of lies. They brought in their heavy hitters. They did their absolute best to muddy the waters. They brought in their own completely irrelevant witness talking about January 6th. That's all they have. One of the Democrat congresswomen said, "Oh, this hearing should just be about January 6th," as if they just didn't have their own star chamber last time. That's all they have, and they're desperately trying to bury the truth, and they can only do that by rebranding the laptop and trying to attack our stories, which are factual and accurate, and that's been confirmed by so much media since. You know, finally the left-wing cover-uppers of Joe Biden's sins have had to come clean.
Yeah, well, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Jamie Raskin don't care. So there you have it. They'll say what they want because they're not under oath. Miranda, thanks very much for your work on this. We so appreciate you joining us this weekend. Miranda Devine joining us from the New York Post.
Thanks, Maria.